Live mics, good times.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back, post-game preseason edition. Oilers drop one to the Seattle Kraken tonight. Everybody stay awake through that game, or we had some dozers, didn't we? Little head nod off in the stands or two. I thought I saw that. It's preseason. That's the way it's going to feel some nights. But there's still some stuff to analyze, some stuff to break down, some bigger picture Oiler conversation that needs to be had. And we're looking forward to it tonight here on Got Your Back. Rob Brown is going to be joining us tonight. We're pumped about that. We got Struddy standing by and Chris Sabunia as well. As always, this show brought to you by Timber Hoss Developments, our title sponsor, the leaders in custom and infill development with the knowledge and experience to bring your dream to life. If you're tired of cookie cutter, copy, and paste designs with no soul, well, see the team at Timber Hoss and discover how naturally inspired living can make your life better. No question. Check them out at timberhoss.ca. That is the website. As we say good evening to Jason Strudwick and Chris Sabunia. Guys, right off the hop here, we got to just kind of get to this. Man, heart-wrenching stuff. You know, we were so happy for Vasily Podkolzin. Such a positive guy and an amazing milestone in his life, that new contract, Struds, and just really tragic news that, you know, the day after he loses his father, he will be gone for, I don't know, a week or 10 days or so. But man, that was tough, and we're certainly feeling for him. We send our deepest condolences to him and his family. You know, his teammates are really feeling it as well, Struds. That's just really crummy after the amazing day that the family had when the contract was done.
Yeah, I just saw the tweet from the Oilers. That's how I learned of it. And I felt sick just right away, you know, and man, that's got to be hard for him, his family, you know, everyone, all their family and friends. I just felt terrible. So, yeah, I mean, he's going home and, you know, trying to find, you know, some I don't know, some kind of peace with it all. I don't know if you can. It's so fresh and raw. So I really feel for him and his family. And I, you know, what a great day. And then to have that happen. You know, it's tough. That's really, really hard. I feel sick for him.
Yeah, and Chris Knobloch had some nice words for him post-game. You know, I know his teammates are really going to be feeling this. Such a well-liked person in the locker room. And as Leon Draisaitl said yesterday, nobody deserves this more than him. I mean, that right there gives you a sense of how they feel about this player. So, but the good thing is in these moments, he'll have his teammates right there with him, helping him get through it. And his family was actually in town during the playoffs last year. I didn't actually meet them, but I got to see them, and his folks were there, and, you know, some little ones running around and stuff. So it looks like he's got a nice big family, and we're just thinking about all of them as we do the podcast tonight. And hopefully he'll get back with his team and solidify things with the family and just do their best to get through what is a really, really tough situation. So with that said, gentlemen, another exhibition game here tonight, Struds. I don't know, man. Like, you know, McDavid and Draisaitl get in there, and they've got Trent Frederick on the line, and you're thinking, okay, maybe we'll see some stuff tonight. And it just, you know, we'll get to it in our breakdown here, Struds, but man, sometimes preseason just can reach new levels. It just feels like it reached a new level of like, oh, tonight, man. I am so glad there's only 4 of these things next year.
Well, let's consider the players, the staff, the coaches, everyone. You're coming off a Stanley Cup final, and you're trying to get amped up for a game that means nothing, you know, September 23rd. And you know, maybe that's unfair for the fans that are in the building, but that's just the reality. You know, even for the fans, you know, people walking around the streets are like, oh, the Oilers are playing tonight. Like, it's not that exciting, right? Coming off of what they came out from. Not a lot of huge battles in camp. You know, there are people to watch and see. But the challenge I have, Shaugger, I think more than any of those things, is just seeing like Seattle didn't have a great lineup. So how
Yeah.
do you evaluate a player who isn't playing against a ton of NHL players or NHL lineups? So that for me is where I really have a hard time kind of getting amped up, saying, "Oh, look at this guy. Well, he's playing against a guy who will probably be in East Coast or the AHL or back to junior college."
So Zuby, your challenge tonight, you gotta like scan the stream as you always do. We're going to talk about this game. We're going to talk about some performances. We'll talk about some bigger picture Oiler topics as well. But if there's a night where you want to throw some random stuff into the chat and ask them some random questions, or I don't know, anybody watching any good shows these days? Anybody seen any good movies? Like anything else anybody wants to talk about? We're happy to mix that conversation in tonight as well, Zuby. So you'd be on the lookout for that stuff.
Yeah, how about anybody got a poll question a really
Oh.
a burning poll question? I might consider
Okay.
that because I have to admit I had a couple of little whispers of ideas, but nothing that really came together. So, and if a non-hockey one would be on the table as well. So if there's something you want to,
I think so. I think we go non-hockey with the poll. I'll tell you what, guys. On another topic here, and we'll get to the breakdown in just a minute. I've started watching that new Jason Bateman Jude Law series on Netflix.
Mm.
Holy smokes, did they do a good job on this thing? I believe it's called. Is it called Bad Something Rabbit? Something Rabbit? You guys have any idea? Have you guys even heard of this?
I haven't.
What's it called, Zuby?
I don't
Dark
know.
Rabbit or Bad Rabbit or?
I don't work for TV Guide. I don't know what you want from us.
The Black Rabbit, or I don't know. Like somebody bail me out here. I can't even see the stream because I'm in my mobile studio here.
Black Rabbit.
Anyway,
Black Rabbit.
He's Black Rabbit.
Yeah.
He's got a new show out on Netflix. I'm telling you, this is.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan so far. It's kind of in the Ozark feel, and they've done an unreal job. I was gonna say, for those that have watched, do you prefer Ozark or Black Rabbit? But that might just fall completely flat if nobody else has ever even heard of this thing.
Well, when you get the name right, obviously you love it. You know, that's step one. What's it called again?
I got so many shows on the go right now. Coming out of summer,
Oh,
I watch so many shows in the summer. All right, well, Zuby, I tried to help you out with a poll, but I don't think that one's gonna fly tonight. So whatever. Let's shelf all that. Let's talk a little bit of hockey tonight because there was a game, and there is some stuff to break down. And it is brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House during every Oiler game day at any Edmonton and area location. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets at Rogers Place, plus enjoy $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards. How about 30 beers on tap, 50-plus TVs at all locations, the largest rooftop patios around. It is the Canadian Brew House. Struds, I did the same thing after the game last night. I basically just threw it out to you to say, after watching that game, who is on your mind?
Okay, where should we start? All right, Tomasek. I look at my notes last night. I had Philip as a guy who made a statement and a case to be, to see more. I want to see more of him. Tonight, against the lineup, I'd say somewhat similar, maybe what you saw in Winnipeg as far as, adversary level. I didn't think Tomasek had the same type of statement night we saw from Philip in the game. You're trying to make a case for yourself night in, night out, every practice that you should be, with this team. And I think that I'd put it 1-0 right now for Philip over Tomasek based on the 2 games back to back.
Time now for our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. Zuby, why don't you hop in here?
I'm not ready.
I'm kidding. I'll let you brainstorm that one a little bit, buddy. I'm just playing around with you. Struds, I agree with you. There's a few players that I'm watching. There are not that many contests for actual spots on the roster.
Sure.
Let's be real. But there are a few. And so you're poking around in areas that are actual competitions. Noah Philp has a chance to make this team. And by the way, it's Tomashik. He let the media know that it is Tomashik is the way we're going to try and say it if we can. He is also a guy that has a chance to make this team and is going to be fighting for a spot. The other guy I'll throw into the mix there, bud, who right similar conversation who was in tonight that same thing, no statement. And it's a couple of looks now and not really anything close to a statement, is Curtis Lazar. I mean, Philp right now, with one performance, has separated himself a little bit from those guys, as much as that means this early in preseason. Agreed?
Yes. Yes. So the challenge for Philp is that he's not an NHL vet. Curtis Lazar is. And so he will get, like, a tie goes to the vet, right? So,
okay, but hang on, Struds. Let me stop you there for one sec.
Yeah.
Philp needs waivers.
Nope.
Philp
no,
is,
I
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you risk losing Noah Philp if you think he's developing into to keep Lazar?
Well, okay. Well, let me just finish my thought. So, what I think for Phil to have to do, and that's a really good point about the waivers, but he has to keep, like, not knocking the door, just blow the door off every time he steps on the ice, just so it's a no doubter, right? You have to make them make that decision really, really hard, right? Oh man, we got to keep this guy. We're going to lose him on waivers, or no, not because we want to lose him on waivers. We want him on our team because he thinks we can have him help us this year. Like, we want this guy on it. So I think he's got to keep knocking down that door right now. Would Lazar get picked up on waivers? Who's more likely to get picked up on waivers? I don't know that Lazar would be at the top of that list, but I think maybe Phil. But I just think he has to keep doing it. Where Tomaszek, he also has to. He's trying to make a case to be in the NHL. That's his goal. He can go back and play in Europe for another 100 years and have a great time, but he's got to push to be, I'm an NHL player. I can help in many different ways. So all three of them kind of have their own battle going on between them, but also, with the team to show them what they can do or can't do.
Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl playing on the same line tonight, along with Trent Frederick. Chris Knoblauch said after the game, he was asked about the line and Frederick, and he's like, well, if you look at the stats line, it doesn't look great. And he was joking. It's preseason, -3, whatever. I mean, just whatever. If anybody's feeling anxious about any of that, you can just let that go. They're just out there to get some reps in. You could tell McDavid a few times, and I've watched him do this for years, Struds, a couple times a game in the early exhibition games. He'll go on like a longer extended shift and just try and really burn the legs out. Did that once or twice tonight, getting a feel for the puck, handling it. The one comment that I will make about McDavid's game tonight is I don't think we saw a guy who was out there tonight with that shooting mentality to try and get the early taste of scoring some goals. There were some prime locations where he deferred tonight for me, Struds, and I was just interested to note that, considering what he's been talking about wanting to focus on goal scoring.
It's funny. As I was watching, I was thinking of you guys just chirping the hell out of me for saying that he was, what did I say, 38 goals this year, I think I said?
No, I think you said he was going to get 12. You said 12.
And you guys just ripping me. And it's unfair because it's a preseason game with two of the stars in the league.
Yeah, don't take your victory lap yet.
Yeah. So I'm not quite, placing a heavy bet on that, but it did enter my mind. But no, those three guys.
I told you.
Yeah. I can't wait till Brownie jumps in. I'm just going to rip them. But no, those three guys, I don't care what they did. They could have had 3 points. They could have had -3. I don't care. It does. I know that they're all going to be fine. Now, the chemistry between the two guys and Frederick, I think that's TBD. They're all trying to find their own games, and they're trying to get a new guy in the line, trying to find his game with you two. And that's hard playing with them. So I think we've got to give that all a little bit of a pause before we get, too excited one way or another about the way they did or didn't look as a group, a unit of three tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And Knoblauch did say after the game, Trent did what he was supposed to do. He was digging pucks out, and he got it out on the wall when he had the opportunity. The one thing that's notable about that configuration to me is Draisaitl looks different on left wing. That's a different kind of, going up and down that side with Frederick over on the right side. It's just a little bit different on the breakouts. Like, I know he's played over there before, and they're rovers. They're all over the place. But that looked and felt a little different to me, Struds. You?
Yeah, I suppose. I do. They're all over the ice. I mean, they're interchangeable, right? That's how they play. But yeah. I think they did. I think that, I mean, he's all over, so it's hard to kind of nail it down. But what I did notice today, and not to change subjects, I thought that the Oilers D were jumping a ton off the blue line, the offensive blue line going in. And it wasn't just Bouchard. It was Lepinin. It was Bo Aki was in there. Even Millman, he was jumping in there. So I don't know if that's just these kids trying to make an impression, or is that something that, Mark Stewart and company have asked them to do, jump in off that blue line and create. Even the big guy there, what's the right shot guy that was playing with Lepinin? I've lost his name for a second, but let's just say, Regula. They were jumping quite consistently off that blue, and I like it. I think that's great. It's frustrating to defend.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that's something that they continue to do. Zuby, do we have some post-game sound? Did we pull any? Where did we land on that? Is Chris like...
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was just getting this other guy on the phone. Sorry, what was...
Oh, you got Brownie.
I do, yes. Sorry, I was literally...
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and bring him in first before we get to any sound or anything if you want, buddy.
Okay, yeah, he's here.
Oh,
hello.
Brownie.
See,
Brownie. Hi, guys. Remember me?
Buddy? Yeah.
It's been a while.
Were your feelings hurt? Were your feelings hurt that we did 2 shows without you? I felt kind of bad. You stopped short of sending sad
I thought you only
emojis.
did one. Yeah, I thought you only did one. You did two. You did better. That's awesome. Wow. Well, that's right. I was probably busy. I was probably busy those nights. Yeah, you're right. I probably had something going on.
What you had going on was a new show. Well, not a new show, but a new show host. So it's a couple of nights on 880 Ched. Brendan Escott does a great job over there. It's sounding great, buddy.
Yeah, it has been really good. I got to do a few games with him last year. Bryn missed a couple of games in the playoffs. He was feeling a little under the weather, and yeah, it's gone pretty seamless so far. So yeah, the shows have been good. Unfortunately, as I saw in the text group tonight, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about during the game and after the game, as that looked like an exhibition game that you might have seen between Fort Wayne and Indianapolis in the IHL or something like that. That was as low event hockey as you're going to see, with zero emotion by really either team in that hockey game.
Yeah. Anybody that comes to mind that you would like to point out or talk about, or who's on your mind following that game?
Let me ask him a question. Lepinin.
Okay.
What like your impressions of him, and what a long-term, result could be for him with this group?
Highly skilled, very, very good hockey IQ, skates wonderfully, effortless when he skates. But what he needs to learn how to play in a North American arena. He needs to learn, you know what it's like, Struts, how fast the game is. You have to move the puck quickly when you're on the back end. You have to get back quick. When you're playing on a European ice surface, which he has, if he's being pressured, he just moves further away because it's a wide rink, and you can take that extra second or two to make a play. And we've seen in these games that he's holding on to the puck a couple times too long because he's trying to create something. I think going to the minors and 20, 30, 40 games from now, he's going to be a much better hockey player because his skill level is high and his hockey IQ is high. He just needs to learn how to play at a faster pace in a smaller arena. And I think he going to the minors will make him a much better hockey player.
It feels to me, guys, like it's not a super tall task for him to play his way to the top of the recall list. Hey, Brownie, to be one of the first call-ups. He's got to get some games down there and whatnot, but it probably wouldn't take him long.
I agree 100%. And what it does, too, when you have a player like that, normally the Oilers, they have a guy down there that, okay, he's number 8, he's number 9, he's number 10. And you bring them up no matter if it's Bouchard getting hurt or if it's Nurse getting hurt or if it's Emberson getting hurt. But he's a guy that, okay, we're missing these skilled defensemen. Let's bring him up instead. He might jump over somebody. He is incredibly skilled and smart and makes plays. And when you've got a team with a Connor and a Leon and a Nugent Hopkins and a Hyman when he's healthy, you want guys that can get them the puck. And he does transition the puck very, very well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Finnish league has for players, but if you're a defenseman leading the league in scoring, you understand the game of hockey. So, yeah, I agree with you, Shaugger. I don't know if there's a defenseman in the minors that I would have ahead of him, in all honesty. I from what you see from him, and he's going to get better. He's going to get better, and I think he's going to get better quickly.
You know, Brownie, when I watch him play, I think about, I think it was Kevin Shattenkirk. He used to play on the third pairing and kind of been a sheltered minutes, but he was all about moving the puck. Now he's not going to get power play time here, but it just helped transition that puck and get it up the ice and a little bit protected. It would be his Kulak, I suppose. Maybe it would be his partner if that how it plays out. But like I'm squinting, and I know you're not, not everyone's trying as hard as a vet, but I'm he's making me want to see more of him, whether it's short term or long term.
Well, I agree, and you look at the 6-7 for the O's. So the top five are set. Emberson and Stetcher are your 6-7. Is Emberson and Stetcher that far ahead of him as a hockey player? And think about it, Emberson and Stetcher played their whole lives North American hockey. They've got a whole bunch of pro games and NHL games under their belt. But could you see this young kid, I guess he's not completely young, but this kid coming in and jumping past them because he brings an element that they don't have. He brings a hockey IQ that is as good as Stetcher and Emberson can be. He can think the game quicker. He can make the 60-foot passes to a streaking McDavid without even blinking an eye. He's got that in his game. So I do believe after 30 or 40 games in the minors, he will have picked up the North American game and become an option for the coaching staff. All right, we are a little stale in our third pairing. Let's see what he can do.
Zuby, did we grab a post-game clip from Lepinen?
Yeah, we did actually.
Okay, perfect. Struddy, if you got the Weiss Johnson ad read ready, let's get to our Weiss Johnson sound box, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. Struds?
The end of season AC sale is on now until the end of October. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. Visit wjjingle.com for exclusive specials just for Got Your Back Jingle lovers. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family-owned.
Atro Lepinen post-game.
I'm pretty happy. Speed is very fast compared to what I'm used to, but I've been able to move the puck well, and I've been playing pretty well defensively. So one thing probably would be a little bit happier get more in the O-zone, but I'm happy.
How did it work out for you to wind up as an Oiler, in the spring when you signed the contract? And tell us about that decision.
Well, they reached out somewhere in the spring, and we had one other team there as well, and I just kind of made an intuition choice, and it was a pretty easy choice to come here. Pretty nice place and good players, so quite easy.
All right, going to be interesting to see what kind of a dent he can put in this thing. I think we all know most of the spots are locked up and some time in the American League is coming, but as our two analysts just talked about, maybe an opportunity for him to bull his way to the front of the line, and injuries do happen. Brownie, we haven't had a chance to chat with you the last couple of shows, so just if you can give me your quick impression on a couple of things here. Ike Howard the other night, and then followed up maybe with a thought on Noah Philp and kind of that battle for that fourth line center spot, Tomashik, Lazar, that sort of thing. So Howard and those guys, what have you seen?
Well, with Howard, there's a lot of talk about the two young kids, Howard and Savoie. Now, with Savoie, he's more of an all-round player. He's good defensively. He's good on the forecheck. He's a smart player that's always in the right place. So he can come in throughout training camp and exhibition, not have to put up, big point totals, but you feel comfortable that he's got the trust of the coaching staff. Howard, on the other hand, I don't think has the trust defensively yet. And most really strong offensive players coming from junior, coming from college, aren't as good defensively. And I know that as a fact because I was, and you're never playing your own zone. So Howard probably isn't as good defensively. So for that, he has to put points up. He has to be noticed offensively because he's not going to be noticed for great back checks or for blocking shots. So the game that he had the other night in Winnipeg and the one-timer, that is huge. He showed what he's capable of. And we have watched, and you guys have watched with all the players that have gone through Edmonton. Leon Draisaitl has a great one-timer. Outside of him, it's hard-pressed to remember someone that can one-time the puck here that's up front. That was a great one-timer. So I think Howard was noticed, and I thought was very good in that game. He has to continue, but that was a nice game for Howard as he tries to impress to get into, top 9 minutes. Phil, it was excellent in the game. I thought he was the best Oiler in the game. And the one thing that has really helped Phil is if Frederick plays on the top line, and that's where they had him tonight, and Leon's on the top line, that's two centermen that were going to be down the middle that people talked about. Frederick playing center, Leon playing center. All of a sudden, that just opened up two places for centermen to find a spot for the Oilers this year. Noah Philp, to me, is on the team and would have had to have played his way off it. And I thought he solidified his job the other night against Winnipeg. I thought he was excellent.
Thoughts on Tomaszek?
Yeah. That's on Noah Philp. Tomaszek, I need more. I still need to see more of Tomaszek. I do. Because Noah Philp is going to be your fourth-line center. And he does not need to create offensively. He did. But he's a right-handed shot, wins face-offs, is very sound defensively. So I'd like him as your fourth-line center. Tomaszek, he's got to, again, he's been okay, but he's not, the offense isn't there right now. And they're not playing against NHL players yet. They're playing against glorified minor league teams. Tonight, the Kraken had one of their top defensemen in, and Mahura, who's a 6'7". You would expect if you're a really strong offensive player, there would have been more created, and there wasn't. So I still need to see more out of Tomaszek. I like his size. I like the fact that he's 220 pounds. But I think as the games get tougher, when you start playing against real NHL teams, that's when I'm interested to see what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, when the games get faster, for me too, I'm interested in seeing. Yeah. It's tough to sort of gauge how a guy's going to make out at full NHL speed during exhibition here, but that's one question I have about his ability to be effective when it gets up to full NHL speed. I'm just about home here, guys. So, Struds, why don't you take the wheel and take care of Relentless Player in the YouTube poll and get us to break, and then we'll do takeaways next and brownie points and Struddy's World and all that other good stuff.
My hands are on the wheels. Let's do this. All right, let's get to the Relentless Player. What's that?
I said, so do it. You stopped talking. You said, let's do this, and then you stopped talking.
Well, I don't know if you want to get the last word like you always do. So I'll take it over then.
Well, I did. Go, Struds. Go now.
I got it. All right, Relentless Player brought to you by You Can Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in creating possibilities for local youth. Mental health drives growth and success, the key to thriving, not just surviving. With 2 in-house counselors offering free therapy, our youth have the support they need to navigate struggles and rediscover their strength. Visit youcan.ca to donate today. Boys, I've got one here for us, and good thing Shaugger's not here. He's not going to like it. But I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians of Major League Baseball. They have carved back 12.5 games behind. They were behind Detroit and Tigers, and they crawled all the way back. It's incredible what they've accomplished. I guess you could also say the collapse by the Tigers is also pretty incredible. But Cleveland has been relentless in their pursuit since really April, when I think the Tigers have led the whole time.
It's funny. I'm going to talk about them and brownie points as well because it's an incredible story. I think that's a fantastic one, Struts. I mean, but when I start thinking of them, then it starts making me think about the Blue Jays and how they've fallen apart for them. So I was so sad. Like I look up we're at Studio 99. I look on the big screen, and all of a sudden 3 spot in the first inning again. I'm like, oh, come on, get across that finish line. So Guardians good, Tigers and Blue Jays right now not good. Hopefully things will change this week for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, just a few games left, but it's tight, guys. It's so tight. Man, they got to win that division. Okay, let's get Zuby take over here and be the hero as we get into the YouTube poll brought to you by De Boer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. If they can make Shaugger a sub-80 golfer, they can make anyone. That's it. That's the ad. No, just kidding. Now's the best time to get fitted. Your swing is at your best. Just ask Shaugger. Fall clearance is on. Huge savings on apparel and footwear now. Go down to 5311 99th Street in Edmonton and tell them, do to me what you did to Shaugger. That's what you say to them, and they will do it overnight.
All right, we were trying to go with a fun poll, something different. Shaugger was down on digging too deep into this game, but we did come up with but the stream has spoken. They wanted to talk hockey, so we still went with the hockey one. And I got this from thanks to Jordan Lee, funny guy on Twitter, good GIF guy on Twitter. And I amended this slightly because he had Savoie in this list. I thought that might be the obvious answer, so I removed him. So the question is, who plays the most games for the Oilers this year? And your choices are, we're talking all forwards here, Tomashik, Curtis Lazar, Ike Howard, or Noah Philp. Those are your 4 choices. For the poll tonight, you guys got an early lean there, Brownie?
Wow, that is a tough one. I'm going to go with Noah Philp. That's who I'm going to go with on that one. But that is a really good, that's a tough one. But I think Philp, his role as a fourth-line center, I think he will get the most games played of all of those players.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you know what? This team needs some fresh faces. Just to keep the energy up. And, you know, I like the idea of what he can be and what he's showing in that game last night. So he's got to keep knocking on that door. Just keep stacking good practice, good game on top of each other right through till whatever, start of the season. All right, guys, let's take a pause here. Shaugger will be back. No one tell him that I chirped him when I read the De Boer's ad. Let's keep that between all of us here. Amongst friends. I'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got takeaways and more of our good buddy, Roberto Brown. Talk to you in a minute, everybody.
Sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly.
Why would you? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? Maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
Welcome back, everybody. It is now time for takeaways brought to you by our good friends HSC Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSC Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep working. Visit www.hsccore.com. That's HSECOR.com for more info. Sorry, guys. Shaugger's not back yet. He's making a snack, apparently. So we'll plow ahead without him. Zoobs and Brownie, you guys okay to do this?
I'll suffer through it. I mean, he is a big part of this, but I think we can get her done.
All right, guys. Brownie, there was talk about, they're going to change. The Oilers are going to talk changing how they're going to do their penalty kill. it kind of got off the rails. Never really got on the rails for a long time. But we've seen the previous year when they made the run to finals and had an epic run at it. They did the push down. So if you're not familiar with that, listeners, basically what happens is the forward gets to the middle of the ice in the D zone and tries to push the defender, the defenseman, to the wall and push them down into the D so they run out of room. Other teams found ways to expose that, and they never kind of were able to adjust. So Brownie, we haven't really seen a lot of penalty kill yet. Like tonight, I think there was maybe a minute and a half or something like that. But where have you seen anything that would suggest that they are going to change? And if so, what does it look like?
Again, yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of it. And tonight, the best penalty killers were Connor and Leon, and they created 2 2-on-1s while they were killing. I mean, you would know more than I do when it comes to penalty killing, but it also any type of specialty teams, actually teams in general. You can't just have something that you want to do and get your team to do that if you don't have the right personnel. So sometimes you got to look at, okay, here's the kind of players we have. Okay, what suits these players best? Whether because of their hockey IQ, because of their speed, because of so many different variables. So you have to find what suits the players you have. Now, maybe 2 years ago when they went to the finals, the players they had that were killing, like the McLeods, the Fogels, the Desharnays, whoever they had, maybe that system worked well for them. But those players are gone, and there's going to be new players this year that are involved. What works best for them? How can they think on their feet? What do they have? Long sticks, short sticks? Are they quick or are they fast? And I think you got to find something that suits what you have in your lineup. And I think that's one of the reasons. Apart also included the fact that they weren't good the entire year last year, that is forcing them to adapt to what they have and change their penalty killing. And again, a good penalty killing is just as important, if not more, than a good power play. So I think they needed to make that change.
Yeah, we're just talking about the penalty kill, Shaugger, what kind of change we might see. And it hasn't, the first 3 games, I don't think we can really get a read off it. I think as we go forward, we'll see more. And I think maybe there'd be some cuts tonight, tomorrow, and then kind of slim that down so you can start seeing it better. I'm really interested. I think that what they'll try to do is maybe try to be not maybe spread out quite so much, even though the push down did work for them, and try to stay a little bit tighter, but still be aggressive, maybe more on the walls, side walls, and in the corner. So we'll see. Again, I'm just speculating here. I really couldn't piece it together.
I have a question about implementation, guys, and maybe Brownie, more relevant for you might be some power play talk, but bottom line, when you're going to make a change on special teams before the start of a season with a group that's been together for a little while and some new players, like how much of it would you download onto a group that's still, 38, 40 strong versus waiting to get down to the real nitty gritty of it and really dig in with, I would assume that they're already implementing it, Struds, and we're seeing it looks different. It feels different. It looks like there's some changes there, but would they have implemented the whole thing and have everybody working on it already and just have the full download already?
Yeah, I think you can do it. I think you have your meetings, right? You have your meetings and talk about it. Hey, this is what we're trying to do. And then as the group gets smaller and you get more to your core 23, then you're really kind of hammering it out. So I think, I think that how many games they have left? 3, 4? Preseason?
1, 2. So they got Friday,
3.
Sunday,
3, yeah.
Wednesday. No, I think they got 4.
4.
Friday,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a few days
4
off,
games
and then they
left.
open with the Flames. Yep.
So I think you've got to get it going right away. Like the camps I'd go to, they would always everyone's this is the meeting. This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And you try to get it going. But now with the 4 games left, especially those last 2, I think we'll really get a good sense of what they're trying to do, because you'll see not only, against more NHL lineups, but you'll see the guys that are actually going to be killing the penalties, carrying out what the penalty kill looks like. So it does look a little bit different, but again, it's pretty helter-skelter to decide in these first 3 games.
Well, and two guys, I think it's important, and it would be for either special teams and line, is to play whoever you got penalty killing. If I think it's going to be Philp and Savoie, then have them kill together in the preseason.
Yeah.
If it's going to be Janmark and captain, then have them kill. I think a lot of penalty killing is reading off your line mates or reading off your teammates. And the sooner you are with them, the sooner you can find out tendencies. Okay, when he turns this way, I know exactly where he's going. When he leads his stick this way, well, I know what he's trying to do. And I think at times last year, and it goes back to the line, we never saw Arvidsson, Skinner, and Draisaitl till late last year. They never found chemistry. I think if you want to implement something new, you can throw everything out and show the players, and they're all quick learners. It's not like they're reinventing the wheel. But what you want to do is find chemistry. And I think both on the power play and on the penalty kill, chemistry is huge. So the sooner they decide who they want to do it, have those guys play together so they can get good reps in the preseason. And when they get to the regular season, it becomes a little more natural.
Zuby, do we have Skinner on the penalty kill and how it affects the goalies?
Sure do. Here it is.
Yeah, I think it's huge.
Johnson soundbox.
Yeah, I think it's huge. That's why you got to do so much video, I think, and you got to, these games are very important. So getting on the PK is never a bad thing, just to feel it out. For me, it's making sure that all of us are on the same page, and I think that's really important for a goalie, just on being able to see plays over and over and over again. And I have my job. I know the D's job. The forwards have their job. So if we're all in sync and we're all in the one mind all together, and then it's a lot easier for me.
Difficult night for Skinner. Boy, barely saw any pucks. Not a lot of action coming his way. That's one of those ones where you're just trying to, be ready and net's ready, but and I'm glad he played the full 60. I think he prefers that. I think he said after the game he wanted to do that. So it was better to stay in there for the full 60 considering how little action he had.
I'm guessing he was hoping for a 25 to 30 shot night against, just like everybody else. You want to get your beak wet. He doesn't not want to see shots. He wants to see shots. He wants to see and prepare and do those types of things. So yeah, it wasn't an ideal night for him for sure. When you look at what after the first period, I forgot what it was. It wasn't even, was it 6 or 5?
3 shots?
Yeah. So barely anything there in the first period. So yeah, not a great night for a guy trying to find his game between the.
Okay, that was our takeaway segment. Yep, go ahead, Brownie.
No, I was just going to say, with 6.5 minutes to go in the first period, the shots were 2-1. That was one of the most boring periods. There was 1 minute of excitement when the others were shorthanded at the end, and they had 2-2 on one, and then Seattle scored. The first 19 minutes, let's be honest, was awful. And as a goalie, that was tough. I mean, Stuart Skinner's first real shot was a backdoor wide open net, and they scored on it. So that would have been, everybody wants to get their feet wet, as Strud said, and Stuart Skinner didn't really until about midway through the third period. So it was a tough night for him.
Buddy, those shot totals, that included warm up. I just checked.
Oh yeah,
so
that's so bad. By the way, Brownie, Struds is already throwing an "I told you so" at you and me. He's already thrown an "I told you so" out there because McDavid wasn't exactly shooting the puck in all of his best opportunities tonight, and it has Struds raising his eyebrow, wanting to beat his chest over his 38 goal prediction.
Oh, it's funny that whenever any predictions are made, people brag about them until they don't come true, and then everyone just forgets about those. What are you talking about? Connor had 62 goals. I said that too, didn't I? Didn't I say 62? I know how Struds works.
yeah.
By the way, I did ask Chris Knobloch to weigh in on the discussion that you and I had last show, Struds, about Matt Savoie. Brownie, you weren't invited to that show, but basically Struds and I had a discussion about Struds felt that Savoie, we both felt that he played really well, took care of the details in his game and such. And I made the point that it would be nice to see him putting up some numbers too. That's at this level in exhibition play. I think that's a fair expectation as well. And Struds was, quite adamant that he felt that Savoie took the night to just really drill down and show he was ready from a detail standpoint to be, in the NHL, that he really is sending that message and really drilling down on that and focusing on that. And that's what we saw out of him the other night. And so I asked Chris Knobloch about that today. Go ahead, Brownie, weigh in.
Well, see, and that's what I said earlier when I was talking about Howard and Savoie. Howard has to produce offense in preseason because he is not as good defensively as Savoie. Savoie doesn't. And I agree with Struds on that one. Savoie he's got trust from the coaching staff because he does all the little things right. Eventually, pucks will find the back of the net for him. But to me, Savoie doesn't need points in the preseason to be effective because he is good both ends of the rink. He's good on the forecheck. He's good at getting pucks in, getting pucks out. He's a more all-round player than Howard is at this point. So I don't think he has to put points up yet either. I just think he has to play, as Strud said, a detailed game showing he could be trustworthy in important situations.
Yeah. Here's the head coach giving Struds another reason to beat that broad chest of his.
No, I think points, short-term points is overestimated. I think it's overlooked, or not overlooked. I think it's too much emphasis on it just because there's so many factors on just pure luck. I've seen some players I've coached who've played horrendous games get 3 or 4 goals sometimes just because of the way their line mates are playing or just the other opposition goalie so bad. I'd like to see them winning puck battles, being able to make plays under pressure. And, there's a couple of plays Savoie last night. I remember, winning some battles against bigger players along the wall and coming out with it where I didn't expect him to do it and then being able to make the next play. Those are kind of the things that I'm looking for to see if he's ready. And, so far, it's early in preseason. The competition's lower than it would be on opening night in the regular season, but I think he's done very well.
All right, there you have it, Struds. Knobloch very much backing up your instincts last night about the direction he's taking his game and what matters right now. That was Takeaways brought to you by HSE Courser. I'm giving you a win, Struds. I know. I made a point of asking today and then playing it on the show to give you the W tonight.
It's nice when other people just say that I was right. I don't have to say anything, right? I don't need the last word. Yeah. I just walk away.
Just walk away right. What a nice feeling. All right. For the last time, that was Takeaways brought to you by HSE Core Services. Zuby, let's roll right into Brownie points because I got a bone to pick with Brownie over Brownie points from last show. And I'm going to campaign to get those points. So, Brownie points are brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. The 2025 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning truck at a competitive price. Capable, stylish, powerful. It is Ram. Look at this thing. Yes, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. So, Brownie, we need clarification. When you are not available for the show and we're taking care of Brownie points, do we have permission or not to award ourselves Brownie points on your behalf? Because Jason and Christopher seem to think that was okay for them to do and then change the rules when I wanted to do that. It wouldn't let me.
Well, you guys can do whatever you want on your little show when I'm not involved, which seems to be a lot. But I have the standings on my phone, and I only count the points that I award because I don't know if you know the segment is called Brownie Points, not called Struddy's Points or Shaugger's Points. So you guys can have whatever you want. I will have final say at the end of the year, and I'm going to give monthly updates. I will give the first game of the regular season. I will give the updates of the Brownie points, who's winning, who's losing, and I will just roll right now into my Brownie points because this is my segment. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to go on the back of what Struddy said earlier. I got 15.5 Brownie points to Cleveland Giants, who actually Struds were at 1 point 15.5 games behind the Detroit Tigers this season. They beat the Tigers today to move 1 game ahead. Cleveland has won 19 of their last 21 games and now hold their playoff fate in their own hands. The Tigers have been in first place since, I believe it was April the 12th or April the 22nd. One of those two, they no longer are. I've got 20 brownie points to all the fans that had to sit through the first 20 minutes of this hockey game. That first 20 was as low an event period as you will ever see. As I said, I believe with 6.5 minutes left, the shots were 2-1. So 20 brownie points for every fan of that game tonight. I have 2 brownie points to St. Albert native and Florida Panther Michael Benning, who Struds and I know both very, very well. He had a goal and assist tonight for the Florida Panthers in a win over the Carolina Hurricanes. He is the brother of ex-Oiler Matt Benning, the son of ex-Oiler Brian Benning, and he's trying to find a spot as a depth defenseman for the Stanley Cup champs. Tonight was a good start for young Michael Benning. I got 2 brownie points to one of my favorite sporting events. We are less than 2 days away from the Ryder Cup. The Europeans, the team that I'm cheering for, are defending champs and have dominated the Ryder Cup the last 2 decades. It is going to be crazy at Bethpage in the U.S., and I can't wait. And my final one, I hate doing this, but I have to take away 2 brownie points from GYB head honcho Shaugger, who has benched me the last 2 podcasts. I was in the press box the last 2 podcasts. My coach, Shaugger, benched me. My poor mom stays up to hear her little boy chat Oilers after the games and instead had to listen to Shaugger relive his 312-yard, 5-wood to 16 inches at number 15 at Belvedere. So Shaugger loses 2 points and now falls a little further behind Zuby in the chase for the Brownie Point Championship. And those tonight are my brownie points.
That's too light. That fine's too light. Send him a message. You're letting him off too late.
It's tough. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Sometimes you got to make tough decisions. Here's the
heavy
thing.
Head.
It is a heavy head, yes. It was already. Here's the thing. I mean, we can ask the stream. This could be one of our polls we could do. Would you rather when the Oilers are on the road, because when the Oilers are on the road, we tend to start the stream right away after the game, which means Brownie has to finish his show at Ched, and then he's not available till like way, way deep into the pod, and we're kind of through our main segments where we're talking. Would you rather wait an extra 35 minutes for Brownie, or do you want us to get going sooner? I mean, that's the issue, Brownie, is if we wait until you're done, we're making everybody wait.
I completely understand. I know that I was on every podcast last year. I can see how it's changed this year. I was in the press box many times in my career. I've been a healthy scratch. I'm completely comfortable with it, Shaugger. But it's going to affect your brownie point standings game in, game out when I am sitting in the stands.
I can't let this affect the decisions. I can't let this affect. I need to do what's best.
No.
Okay, good to know. So how far am I behind? Am I a ways back now?
You are 42 points behind Zuby right now. You were still in second place. I can't remember what Struds did, but he's in the negatives. I'm not sure how he got in the negatives, but you are well ahead of Struds right now.
Just Steve is in on the stream, says, on behalf of the production staff, vote for an early start, please. Clinton Tiffinger says, wait for Brownie. His name is on the show. Kayla Weethorn says, Brownie is worth the wait. Chris Berlin says, I'm fine with the wait. Go sooner, stay on later, says Dutch Oven. I mean, goodness, we can't make it a 3-hour show.
He wants us to go all Joe Rogan up in here.
Yeah, go Joe Rogan up in this thing. Okay, those were brownie points brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. Brownie, we're going to get you on as much as we possibly can.
I'm here when you need me, guys. I'm here when you need me.
We know. Reliable as it gets. Zuby, roll Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
All right, it is time for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. They're excited to introduce DLR PVC decking. As Alberta's premier distributor for Vecca Deck and Wolf Serenity, they offer exclusive high-quality boards with a pure PVC core, completely resistant to water, mold, and insects. UV protection keeps the color and wood grain looking new. No sanding or staining is required. I've got one of these things, and it's spectacular. Stocked in Edmonton and Calgary. Visit www.dlrvinylproducts.ca. Struds?
I'm always interested about how coaches use their players in preseason. And, watching the Oilers today, it's felt like Connor and Leon were playing a ton. Evan Bouchard played 25 minutes. I think Connor and Leon were both over 20. Trent Frederick was around 19. And, my thought was, man, that seems like a lot of minutes for these guys. Now, I understand you're trying to get them to get their timing back and maybe trying to get them up to that game shape where they need to play that much. So I went and looked at some other top players. Like last night, Austin Matthews was right around 20. So it's not like it's crazy. But the flip side of that, guys, is that, I if I was a coach, I'd want to see how guys function. Bo Aki, I think he played 15, 16 minutes today. Could he have banged out, 20? And maybe Bouchard comes down to 19 or 18. Let's see what he can do. We know what Bouchard can do. I expect that he's in shape. We're not worried about that. So I'm always interested in looking at some other teams like Florida, although today I saw the Mike Benning thing. They didn't have a lot of stars, so everyone kind of played similar minutes, I guess. But so this is really just a coin toss conversation I want to have here about how would you approach if you're a coach. I think I'd lay off my vets a bit, play my younger guys so I can see them. And then as you get closer to the end of the training camp, you can do it more. Now with 4 games, that might change. But honestly, I used to feel Brownie, like I needed 1, maybe 2 games and I was back into it. But to be fair, I didn't really touch the puck. So I guess it didn't affect me too much, but might be different with the top end players.
Well, part of it is I think that when we played Struds, nobody asked our opinion on how much we wanted to play or when you wanted to play. I think there's actually a conversation now with Connor and Leon. How many games do you want to play? When you play, how much do you want to play? How many minutes? Bouchard, what do you feel comfortable with? Ekholm, where do you feel right now your body's at? Skinner, do you want to play a full game? Do you want a half a game? Like the players when we played didn't get that decision. We were just told. I could see the flip side of Bo Aki. He's never going to play 20 minutes in the National Hockey League or no time in the next number of years. So let's see what he can do when he plays this many minutes, because that's all he's ever going to get if he gets called up. This guy that's going to be on our fourth line. Well, fourth line guys here only get 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So what can you show me in those 7, 8 minutes? So I think that's how the coaches look at it. And I mean, in this game too, with the Oilers losing, the last 5, 6 minutes, you saw a lot of Connor and Leon and Bouchard. Maybe if the game's reversed and the Oilers are winning, the ice time is different. To me, the players are in way better shape now, so I don't think it affects Bouchard when he plays 25 minutes, or Connor and Leon when they play whatever they do. But I think coaches try to play their game the way they would play in a regular season, and this is where you slot in. This is how many minutes you're going to get in an exhibition game.
Yeah, I like your point there, Brownie, about it being somewhat situational. There's an opportunity there, Struds, to put McDavid and Draisaitl down a goal or two, needing a goal late in a game, extra attacker, pull the goalie. These are opportunities in these simulations so that the first time that happens isn't in the regular season. It felt to me like it was, okay, they're getting one of those reps, down a goal or two, get them out there, let them run the last 2 minutes, see how that feels. So feels like maybe in some ways it was situational.
They've done that 1,000 times. They've been in that moment so many times, right? I know it's a little bit different sport, but NFL football, like some of the guys don't even play exhibition games at all. Now they get reps in practice, and I get that. But, I would have liked to see, instead of Bouchard out there, put Leppinen out there. What does that look like? What does he look like running that 2-minute drill? Just so you get to know him as a player, like, hey, this is what I think he can do. And Brownie, your points are well made. We might not see Leppinen all year. We might not see Tomaszek or Philp or whatever, any of these guys, play big minutes. But I just, as a coach, I want to find out what you can do I want to see it. Can I stretch you out? Can you do this? Can you play here? So, but looking around at other times, like I said, Matthews was 20 minutes last night, so it's not far off, and they're trying to get everybody up and running. But I don't know. I just trying to explore different ways to see the potential players I may see or may call up in different situations as well, because I've seen these other ones play through it.
The depth defenseman calling for more opportunity for depth players in exhibition play. I think there's something there, Brownie. I think.
No, and that's fair. That's fair too. But yeah.
No, I see your point, Struds, but I just think that Chris Knobloch is going to use the players where they're going to. Lebanon is never going to be that player out with 2 minutes to go, not in the next number of years, because if it's not Bouchard, it will be Ekholm. And if it's not Ekholm, it will be Wallman. Like, he is so far down the depth chart, they don't care if he can do it or not because he's not going to get that chance. And I think the reps that they got tonight, the reps you said, Connor and Leon have been there 1,000 times, but Trent Frederick hasn't, and he was out there. So now he's got to see what Connor and Leon do. So I think it was a good rep for him if he's going to be the guy out in the last 2 minutes of a hockey game with the goalie pulled. So I understand what Knobloch's doing, and I've been a depth player, and I hated you play an exhibition like seriously. We know what Leon can do. Can I have some time? But as a coach, you're using the players where you think they're going to be when they play, and they just want to continue to do. He's coaching his exhibition game like he would coach his regular season game, and I got to respect that as well.
Yeah, solid point.
We'll leave it there.
Yep, that was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Okay, Brownie, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. We'll try and do it again at least once or twice in the next month.
Well, yeah, I got the schedule. You got me down for October 31st. I appreciate that.
Sounds good, man. Actually, when's our next game here? So we've got Saturday night we're gonna drop, or no, Friday night we're gonna drop another pod. So Brownie, we look forward to chatting with you again then, my friend.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right. That is Rob Brown back with a vengeance. You believe that is like misses a couple shows and he's stripping me of brownie points just because I got to make some executive decisions. Someone's got to make these decisions, and I shouldn't be punished for having to be the organizer of things.
I didn't want to lose any points, but I think we go right away on those on those road games because old Uncle Struddy wants to go to bed earlier than 2 a.m. sometimes. So I'm all for it. Fire it up. Sorry, Brownie.
Zuby, can you clip that and text it into the group chat? What Struddy just said?
Absolutely.
And then
I need to extend my lead here. I'm trying to just stay out of Brownie's business, but if it comes to submarining somebody else, I'm all for that, of course.
Yeah, for sure. We actually need to make, because he doesn't listen to the show, we need to make sure he hears Strud say that.
Yes.
And we'll
you made the mistake of texting him. We know Brownie doesn't listen to the show and he's not on it. We can say whatever we want about him, and then you say it and you decide to text it to him and appeal for the brownie points. And it got you. Neil Garrity with a good point. And that mixed results, and someone even put it perfectly, the conundrum that we face. Love to hear Brownie, would love to see things start earlier. That's just it. That's what we got to weigh out. But Neil Garrity pointed out that there's a lot of goalie coaches on the chat that have to get to work the next day. So I thought that was a valid point.
All right. When we come back, we will take a couple of laps and ask us anything as well. So make sure you fire us your questions for Struds and I, and we're taking all kinds tonight. Whatever you want to talk about, we're an open book. We're having an open book night. So send us your thoughts. Lots more still ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Timber Hoss.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
So at Timber Hoss, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
It's that time of the show. I'm letting this one breathe. Little retro action here on Got Your Back. Welcome back to the show. Time now to take a couple of laps. Brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy. What sets the Bridge apart is the fully integrated model. Physiotherapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, strength coaches, they all collaborate seamlessly as one team with a singular focus of fixing whatever is ailing you, like golfer's groin. Clinics in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, St. Albert's, the Bridge, providing accessible team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. That's their website, thebridge.fit. I love that retro deal, perks me up every single night. Where are we going, Struds?
Well, we're getting 3 injury updates here. One just came up. I just got it, so we'll get to it. Anders Lee, the Islanders, is out for 1 or 2 weeks with an upper body injury, according to their coach, Patrick Waugh. Drake Batherson of Ottawa out 2 weeks with what Travis Green's calling an upper body muscle strain or pull. So he's out for a couple weeks. And then just now, Adam Foote, post-game, mentioned that Niels Höglander injured his foot. And they're going to get it checked out and see what he's, it's a lower body injury. I thought it was a foot, but that didn't say that. Lower body injury, and see where that's at. So, those guys are all important
because it was Adam Foote. Did you see the word foot and think that it was a foot injury? Is that what happened?
I might have. I think maybe there was some, subliminal.
Well, no, it was just there. It was the word foot. You saw the word foot.
Yeah. I honestly thought early on Twitter I saw someone say foot, but either way, it's a lower body injury. Niels Höglander, they'll check him out. So those 3 guys out with injuries, not life changing. At least the first 2. Maybe Höglander will get an update in the next 24 hours. Going over.
So you're saying they could all use the Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. All of those players you mentioned could use a visit to the Bridge.
Now, no one said anything about golf groin, though. It doesn't sound like any of them are suffering from that debilitating pain that is called the golf groin that the Bridge is so good at treating. Getting away from the injury bug, Brad Trelane was on a radio station out there in Toronto, and they're asking him about the obvious need for someone to jump up and play beside Matthews and Nyes. He went on and said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a guy like Matthew or a Marner, although that'd be a hard guy to find. They're looking for different things. Michelli's there right now. They're looking right now at internal solutions, and at some point they may look at external solutions. They do have a little bit of cap space, but the problem, I don't know what they're trading for this, because they've got, I think, only 3 picks this year. I don't think they have a first rounder till 2028. So, talk about buy now, pay later. So I don't know how that works or what. Easton Cowan's a young player. Maybe that would be something, but I don't think they want to trade him away. So Shaugger, I don't know. The Leafs seem like they're in one right now.
Yeah, this is a big one. Like with Marner leaving and that spot being wide open and nothing significantly meaningful being done to address it. With every loss, with every 2-goal performance where they lose 3-2 or 4-2 or 2-1 or 1-0, every low-scoring affair that they're on the wrong side of, this will be the talking point, and this will be the narrative, and they'll probably find a way to tie McDavid to it as well. We'll have to listen to that all year as well. It's a big one, man. It's a big hole. And what they need to quiet this thing down is like a decent start where somebody does something they weren't supposed to and has everybody going, oh, okay, maybe it's going to be okay. But if it's not a great start and the offense isn't coming from that side, it's going to be loud.
Matthews, if he has a slow start and the power play has a slow start, man, that will be thunderous what you'll hear from Leafs land.
For sure. Was that all for Take a Lap tonight, buddy?
That's it.
Just making sure. That's it.
I couldn't find any more injuries. That was all I could find so far.
Tonight's injury report.
We should mention that. What's his name? Kokko? No, who? Oh my God! Tonight for Seattle, Bo Aki slashed him.
Kakko.
Thank you. Kakko was slashed, and he left. He only played like 2 minutes, so who knows what's up with that? I didn't think it looked that bad actually, but.
Are you telling me I didn't even notice that Seattle has Kakko and Kokko, that goalie Kokko? That guy was
a great name.
That's a fabulous name.
Oh.
I texted some of my friends, what are you going to nickname that guy? He's already got the best nickname built right in.
Yep, that's a good handle. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by The Bridge. It's actually the injury report, brought to you by The Bridge, Sports Therapy and Training. Zuby, why don't you hop in here, buddy? Let's wrap up our YouTube poll, brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. What did you decide on? I don't even know what the poll is because I was busy coming into the house. Did we do my thing about Jason Bateman and his shows? What did everyone say?
No, people, believe it or not, still wanted to talk hockey. So we went with still a hockey poll.
All right, fine.
It was a close one. The question was, who do you think plays the most games for the Oilers this year of these choices, of these forwards? Noah Philp, David Tomashik, Ike Howard, and Curtis Lazar. Those are the choices. Do you want to weigh in quick before I give the results there, Shaugger?
I would probably say Philp as of right now. It's a popular choice right now because he played good the other day.
All right. Well, you agreed with the masses here, and I believe Struddy and Brownie as well, even though it was quite close. So, but Philp was the winner at 39%, Tomashik at 36%, Howard at 19%, and Lazar at 6%. That did change quite a bit throughout the evening. So, good poll there. Thanks for voting, everybody. Glad to have you on the stream.
Yeah. Great stream tonight that we got going after this exhibition game. We appreciate everybody staying awake and then hopping on the stream with us here. Let's get to Ask Us Anything, see what the people are wanting to know. Brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. So a local company founded in 1976. It's a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Zuby, direct some traffic here, buddy.
Sure. I'm going to go. A couple people did submit other poll questions. I'm going to give them some love here in Ask Us Anything. Noah said, what do you wish you did? What do we wish we did with our time instead of watching/listening to this game? I was thinking this was almost in there. I was going to put Settlers at playing Catan in there, binge watching media content. What would you guys have rather done?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I golfed already today, so that would be my obvious answer. I mean, I would have been happy to sit in the sim tonight hitting balls with the game on the screen on the wall.
Yeah,
I would have been happy with paying about that much attention to it, I would say.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe stretching. I feel like I need to do a little bit more stretching. I could have stretched a bit more, I guess, instead of watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Although when I'm watching a game, you can stretch, so there's no excuse, I suppose.
I've been stretching so much lately. Last 2 months, Struds. I've basically been doing like a 25 or 30-minute walk followed by a 25 or 30-minute stretch, and it has made such a big difference. Like a really big difference in my over, just how I'm feeling day to day. So just since you brought up stretching, just thought I'd let you know. That and my lemon water. And now it's time to tackle the golf grind.
Okay. Paulie came in with a serious one. We won't get into the answers, his answers that he provided, but let's just say this. Do you believe Stuart Skinner is the long-term number one goalie for the Oilers? It's a big question. People wanted to come in. They weren't happy with what they saw from Stu tonight. It's kind of a weird game, preseason, and not much action. But what do you believe beyond this season he's going to be a restricted free agent? He's going to be a long-term guy here in Edmonton, Struddy?
Wow, that's a little early for that question to come in. I listen.
September 24th.
So I'm not going to answer the question. What I'm going to say is I'm going to take the time that they have as far as this year to evaluate where he's at and what he does for the team. If I say, yeah, he's out of here and he plays amazing, I'll look like, premature. And if it's the other way, well, obviously then you look like you know what you're talking about. So we've got to give him some time. I really, tonight's game, yeah, it wasn't ideal, but it's preseason. You're supposed to work the warts out in this time of the year.
My gut right now tells me probably. I think him coming back, looking a little quicker, I think that's going to solve some problems that he had. And I think pretty motivated. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that there's still lots of room for development there, that he's reasonably young as far as goaltenders go and still learning. So if you were to say to me, do you envision Stuart Skinner signing a long-term contract, earning starters money, to try and keep the Oilers in this cup window? My gut is it probably ends up heading in that direction, but we don't need to make that call right now. We don't need to, and neither do the Oilers. So let's let it breathe, as Struddy says.
I'm back. Let's do a couple of rapid fire here. Where did this one start? I want it to start here. Okay, Stitch42 says best power tool company: Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt, or Hilton. Shaugger?
I'd probably say DeWalt would be the one that I would lean towards. Probably what I have the most of in my very manly garage, full of tools that I totally know how to use. Struds, you?
Yeah, I've got a mixture of Milwaukee and DeWalt. So I'd go with either one of those.
And I'm all Ryobi, so I guess I didn't even make the cut, but that's
oh boy. Yeah.
That's what I have. All right, Kayla Weethorn wants to know, how do you take your eggs, Struddy?
Man, that's probably scrambled.
I can't do eggs. Upset my stomach. Did the keto diet a number of years ago. So I did like 4 months where I just ate so many avocados and so many eggs. And it did pretty well for me. I actually dropped some weight and muscled up a little bit. Felt pretty good. And then my stomach completely rebelled on me. And I have not been able to consume an egg since then without my stomach just like blowing right up on me. So I can't eat eggs or avocados because of my sensitive stomach. Although I haven't tried since I started taking lemon water every morning, but I'm afraid to because it'll ruin my day if it's not ready for it. Any recommendations, Struddy?
Listen, you need a professional. I didn't want to get into this. Like everything's a fad diet. This I've done. I'm like I can't, like, you just found something on Twitter, you start using it. I can't get involved in it. I'm walking away.
It's the only fad diet I ever tried. It's the only one I ever tried. It's not like I'm, no judgment or anything, but I'm not on Ozempic. I'm not, I tried one thing and it went bad for me.
Well, lemon juice is another thing.
Oh, that's really helping though. That's not a fad. That's just something that I do now. That's not a fad. There's nobody out there is talking about lemon juice. Have you tried the lemon juice thing? It's just something that I discovered for my body chemistry helps me, Struds. There's no ridicule necessary for my lemon juice. No. I'm not going to share. I'm sharing this with people in hopes maybe it'll help them too.
Yeah.
But where did you get it from? You didn't just pull it out of thin air. I think I'm going to...
My
You
brother,
accidentally
Rick.
drank lemon juice
brother,
one morning.
No, my
And where
brother
did
Rick, Rick was having, he took his more, well, should I tell his medical stuff on the show? I don't think
boy.
he'll care.
No, let's, it's just, we're going down a rabbit hole here. I can't. I just,
all right.
Stop drinking coffee. Stop drinking the coffee if that's what's giving you an upset stomach. You're putting something
But
else
why
in your
if I
stomach.
just drink a little bit of lemon juice and then I can drink coffee? Why wouldn't I do that? And why wouldn't I share that with people? And what is your issue with me sharing my homeopathic remedies with people?
If chocolate made me sick, I'd stop eating chocolate. Like that's what I do. Instead of like, well, chocolate's making my stomach upset, I'm gonna drink coffee because it's upset. It'll help offset the chocolate that's going into my stomach. Like it's just like, just stop drinking the problem thing that's giving me the bad tummy.
Your analogy doesn't work. That's like if coffee made me not able to sleep, then I would stop drinking coffee before I go to bed. It doesn't mean I got to completely stop drinking coffee, but I just, you know what I mean? I don't need to stop drinking coffee. I just need to drink lemon juice first and then I'm fine. Okay, we got to move on. I've had it. I have bloody well had it. Go ahead, Zuby.
Okay, and Steve said,
Couple more.
just
Let's get
Steve
outta
said,
here.
oh my God, the worst two answers ever to how do you take your eggs. So I'll say we eat a lot of eggs in my house. Scrambled eggs with cheese mixed in when it's for the kids, and if I'm ordering at a restaurant, it's probably over medium. I like a little bit of runny yolk there.
Sounds hard on the stomach. Oilers Diehard says Shaugger chose the right profession. He wouldn't make it as a hockey player. Agreed.
Okay.
I'm in my sweet spot right now.
Let's a couple of other quick ones here. Queen Bee Amy wants to know, have you read any good books lately? And we can fold that together with just Steve, who says, Struds, which one of the books over your left shoulder is your favorite? Let's have Got Your Back Book Club here. Struddy, are any of those books your favorite, or what? Or have you read anything good lately?
I've actually read all these. Honestly, I really enjoyed War and Peace. I really enjoyed that book. Big fan of the book. So I'll leave it there.
Did you
I'm sure
know
everyone else has read it?
Originally, the title Struddy for that was supposed to be War. What is it good for?
Yes, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Little known fact.
I'm missing this inside joke. I don't read books. I prefer audiobooks, so I listen to them. But technically, I feel like I can still say I've read a book if I've listened to it. Would you agree? Do I need to tell people I didn't read that, I listened to it?
I think there's a distinction. Yeah.
So like I can't say I've read War and Peace if I just listen to the audiobook?
Well, have you listened to it? So you haven't read it?
No, I haven't done either.
It's honestly, it's an unreal book, and I'm not just getting on my high horse. It's one of my favorite. It is probably my favorite book of all time. It's such a good story. It's amazing. I might have to read it again. Took a long time. No, I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot. It's a heavy one.
How many pages is that thing? Yeah, that's significant.
It's a lot. It's a ton, but it's a really, really good storyline. Oh.
And well, maybe we can do a new segment where you read a passage from War and Peace each show. If anybody wants to sponsor that, send us a note on Twitter. If anybody wants to sponsor Struddy reading War and Peace, Zuby, let's land this plane.
No, are you kidding? I still got good stuff. We're not even done the rapid fire section here. You guys just don't know how to rapid fire answers. And let me say, I think the good idea is to do Got Your Back Book Club. And we'll plan when we know we've got a non-game night show coming up. We'll pick a book. Everybody on the stream has to read it, and we'll have a segment when there's no hockey talk. It'll be Got Your Back Book Club. We can start with War and Peace. We'll set
there are other podcasts for that. That is not this. Yeah. That is not this.
That show will be in March, by the way, for the War and Peace. Yeah. Okay, this is a good one from Kayla. Again, she said, what's your favorite animal to see at the zoo? I love this. I know zoos have kind of fallen out of favor, but what's your favorite animal to see at the zoo, Shaugger?
I don't like zoos.
All right, that's good enough for me.
I don't go to the zoo. Don't go. Don't go to the zoo.
No, he has an audiobook. Tell him about what it's like to go to the zoo. I saw silverbacks one time, and I was amazed. I couldn't believe it, how powerful they are.
I always like the big cats. Cool. Something about the big cats are really cool. Include not just lions and tigers, like panthers and jaguars. Very cool. This is a great one from Paulie. Struds, do you remember all 13 career goals? And you don't have to describe them, but maybe like how many could you clearly describe of the 13?
I don't think I do, but someone else asked me the other day. I don't remember them all. No, I wish. Maybe I should do it one day, but I don't think I could even get through all 13.
Struddy, was the Seinfeld one actually you? I never know if that's...
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
Do you want to do that, or have we already done that with our earlier reference?
Yeah. No, it's such a great show. I just the other day I had nothing to do, so I watched a little bit of it. Man, it was good.
Struddy said, what's your favorite line from Seinfeld? I'll say really quickly, mine is very off the beaten path because none of the main characters even say it. I don't know why this tickles me. It has nothing to do with even the storyline, but in the episode that goes backwards, the betrayal in season 9, and when Elaine goes to meet the Indian guy who's invited them to India for their wedding, she goes to meet their parents, and it's the dad that she's talking to. And she says, look, Mr. and Mrs. Ranawat. And he says, please call us Usha and Zubin. And she says, well, Usha. And he says, I'm Zubin. And I don't know why it's so funny. It tickles me every time. I laugh out loud. It's so silly, but it kills me.
I think my favorite is when they have the master of my domain. And Kramer just goes and sees the lady on the neighboring house or the neighbor apartment that's naked, walks out, comes back 2 minutes later. I'm out.
Slams the money on the table. Yeah, I'm out.
So good.
Yeah.
That's a classic. Okay, a very funny comment. If we're having a chirp of the night, the Neon Rider earlier, Struddy said at DeBoer's to say. Go in there and say, do for me what you did for Shaugger. The Neon Rider said, do for me what you did for Shaugger, then walks away with ruptured Achilles.
Did you say that? What did you chirp me in your DeBoer's read?
That was a read. I just said, that's what I said.
Right.
Just
I think he said it, and I thought it was actually a compliment. It was certainly giving credit to DeBoer's.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Time now for our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement, expert water line repair and replacement as well. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. They have a trenchless method that is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day, complete with backflow protection as well. Check them out, Mainline Water and Sewer.ca. We got a play of the day tonight. Struds, what do you got?
Only 4 players have hit 60 home runs in the American League. Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, then we've got Aaron Judge, and now Cal, the big dumper rally, has joined that club in the American League. It's incredible. He hit his 59th and 60th tonight. It's an incredible story for a catcher to do this and join that incredible club in the American League. So I just couldn't believe it. What a season this guy's having.
Zuby, do you got the retro theme available? You want to play us out with the retro theme tonight?
Yep.
Just feels like that kind of night. It's been a weird show. Like we're going to end on a little bit of a different note here. That was our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer. I don't even know what to say about tonight's show. It's preseason. We're all rounding into form. You know, we're all not peaking. We had a similar performance tonight to the Edmonton Oilers, boys.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were that sleepy. I
think there's a little more juice in there, but we're getting there. We'll talk to you guys Friday.
Sounds good, buddy. Zuby, nice work, my friend. Thanks to everybody on the stream as well for joining us. Oilers and Winnipeg Jets set to go on Friday night, and we will chat post-game. See you then. Everybody read War and Peace. Book club night on Friday. Read War and Peace between now and then, and we will discuss.